Okay, you're on.
But you want me to start now?
Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do to be famous.
I am very shy. Camera shy, baby.
Yeah. Thursday, November 21st, I think. We are going to try to head to the Bellagio and get a session in. I say try because I don't know if I'm going to be successful because the F1 is in town. I believe all that madness starts today and the streets might be closed. So, wish me luck. It took forever. I mean, like a really long time, but I did make it to the Bellagio after getting pulled over by a state trooper and warned not to drive around the cones like the taxis do. Oops. But I'm in, though. I get seated in a game in what would be the Under the Gun 2 spot, so I waited a couple hands in order to join in the big blind and save $10. During that period, I was able to set up the camera and all that jazz so you can see this session from the very first hand played. So what was my reward for hustling through traffic, dealing with drivers who think their 2017 Honda Accord is now an F1 car, and getting a talking to by the ops before arriving? 9-3 suited. Great. Thanks. It's at this point a Bellagio reg joins the table in seat 4 and posts $10 to receive a hand. Action folds to him and he checks his option when I look down at aces. About damn time. I've been here a whole 2 hands now. I make it $50 to go from the small blind, and the only caller I get is that hijack who is fiddling around with getting seated and getting all his chips on the table. 6, 9, 7 with 2 spades. I check this horrid-looking flop that smacks a calling range right in the face. If I expected this to go smoothly, I was gravely mistaken, as he now overbets this flop for $200. Excuse me? I'm really not in the mood to deal with this nonsense. I could be behind, sure, but I realize that every draw in the world is available, and I'm up against a villain that has no qualms about playing for stacks with a draw. Would you buy in for?
I should leave my car here
Would you buy in?
for the next 2 days. I don't know, that's 1,011.
I inquire as to how much money he is sitting down with. He lets me know that he has $1,100 behind. Fine. $1,100 it is then. If I'm beat, they sell more chips at the cage in the back. I move all in and get snap called. Come on.
I call first hand.
I ask if he wants to run it once or twice. He throws that option back to me. I select once, and the dealer continues.
I wish I get this kind of
Once, twice.
Whatever you want to.
It's up to you. Totally up to you.
Okay.
Once is fine.
One time, just got some big balls.
7 of hearts on the turn, and I'm not sure if I needed it or not, but the ace of hearts hits the river, giving me a full house. Well, that's a good way to start the session heading into hand 3. Okay, so now we're cooking with grease. Let's see what this third hand brings. This is some bullshit. This dealer sucks. I'm going to say something here that I think a lot of people really don't want to hear, but poker is still a game of people, not charts. Living by a chart, running to a chart or sim to determine if your play was right or wrong versus a real person, not a computer, might provide a modicum of education in some arenas, but in live cash games, learning how to navigate through hands based on the person you are playing is of paramount importance. The charts aren't the answer to the poker equation like the masses long for them to be. So if you find yourself ripping it in with pocket jacks in the small blind versus a 4-betting hijack who honestly doesn't even 3-bet enough, just because some chart said you can sometimes, you're missing the entire point. Here's an example. In this one, a professional opens to $30 on the button. We already know his range is very wide. Looking down at ace-queen offsuit in the big blind, according to the charts, this is a high percentage 3-bet. Very high. Me taking the defensive route here has a lot of merits. We are 350 big blinds deep, and I'm playing against a villain that is skilled, not some weekend warrior. I call. Ace Jack 7 with 2 clubs. I check and he continues for $50. Population will c-bet here a ton because big blinds don't typically have a lot of big aces, 2 pair, or sets to fight back with. For me, this isn't the case. I call. The turn brings the 9 of clubs, which as you can guess, I'm not a big fan of. I check again. Here the button checks it back. Now I know that I likely have the best hand. Not a lot of players are checking back flushes here. Not big flushes, not little flushes, no flushes are getting checked. This is how people move, not the sim, not the charts. The tendencies for live cash game population is to get value when they have a flush. The river pairs the ace. I lead for small, targeting getting called by only a jack really, or maybe some non-believing pocket kings or queens. What happened next was unexpected. He quickly raised it to $420. So if I'm confident that population doesn't check back flushes, what does he have? Could be a full house, but that's hard with me holding an ace. Jacks or 7 full is possible, but most likely it's a weaker ace that has river trips and wants to get value for them over the $70 I provided. I'm not folding, and if I raise, I'm now bluffing unnecessarily. I call, and he tables ace deuce suited. Did I play this hand like a sim would? Probably not. So then he played the hand badly. No, not at all. It's just a collision of 2 big hands and someone has to win. But it definitely helps to have super strong hands for protection in these spots when most people would have raised off all their monsters pre-flop and end up on this river very unprotected. A bit later, I looked down at ace 5 suited in early position and opened at $30, only to get raised to $90 by the hijack in the 1 seat. This is another one. Another one that people go crazy with because of the charts. I'm not saying that the guy in the hijack isn't a good player. I don't know him. Maybe he's world class. But in order for the 4-bet with a hand like this to be profitable, he has to be 3-betting a range that consists of hands like ace 4 suited, 5-4 suited, pocket 7s, king queen offsuit, etc. Is he doing that? Most live players aren't. And if he isn't, then guess what? My ace 5 suited 4-bet is just going to end up running smack into pocket kings, queens, and ace king. A lot. I haven't really seen this guy play a hand yet, so until I see him turn into the second coming of Limitless, I'll just stay in line. I call. There really isn't much to this hand. We both check the flop, and I check fold on the turn. Poker is hard enough as it is, and getting harder every day. Do yourself a favor and don't make it harder than it needs to be. Always remember the acronym, KISS, which stands for Don't Go Crazy Because of Dumbass Charts. I don't know why they spell it with a K. Here, the straddle is on, and I open at $50 holding Queen 10 of diamonds on the button. The blinds fold, and the straddler raises, but raises too small. He makes it $150. This sizing would be great if there was no straddle, but seeing as we are essentially playing 5, 10, 20 this hand, his raise should be about double what he actually raised. Either way, even if he had raised the bigger size, I still would have called. Ace 6, 3 rainbow. I expect him to lead a lot here, but he checks. I'm not going to try to steal this pot yet, holding nothing but queen high and backdoors. I check it back. The turn 10 changes all that. He checks again. Now I have to bet. I toss $140 into the middle and he thinks about this, then calls. The river jack of clubs? Yuck. Not a good card for me. He checks, and being able to get value from worse now is really, really hard. I check it back and he tables 6, 5 of hearts. I do like his pre-flop raise, just not a fan of the sizing. Nice hand. About 10 minutes after that hand, the hijack opens this one to $30, and I call from the button with 4-5 of clubs. The big blind comes along, and there are 3 of us. Jack 8-5 with 1 club. Both big blind and hijack check this over to me. Am I excited about this flop? Not really, but I have a pair and some back doors working, and that's good enough to take the lead. I toss $40 into the pot. The big blind thinks and calls. The hijack is no longer interested. Heads up to the turn, and the 3 of clubs shows up. The big blind checks again. Picking up a flush draw with the appearance of a super rare undercard has gotta be a sign from God. Having a flush draw that I don't really care about too much if I get check raised huge is kind of an added bonus. Like, it would suck to have ace-5 of clubs bet and get check raised. 4-5 of clubs? Who cares? I toss out $90 and get the fold.
I say, yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot. Got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy. Fresh start time, fresh new mind. Free on the inside, free on the outside. Why you worry when you know that he gon' make a way? I done seen him make a blessing like 100 ways. Everybody got a time, a dog gon' have a day. Only running to the Lord, I never run away. Curving him, demons try to get me, but I'm swerving him. Circle him, target in my flesh, I had to murder him. Satan only come to steal your joy just like a burglar. Smirking him, I know he got it covered like a pergola. We go ahead and knock it out the park and turn the bases. You was walking faith and started running out of patience. I sat at the table with my plate, I'm saying graces. We cast all our cares, forget the past and turn the page. I say, yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot. Got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy. Fresh start time, fresh new mind. Free on the inside, free on the outside. 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 Yeah, okay, do what you gon' do to get the message. What you mean? Had to cut you off cause you was messy. Look, all my dogs got it off the strength, bench pressing. 10 plus, I can never quit, I'm invested. I can't fill you in with the crew cause you ain't real enough. Try to knock it down, but I can't let you ain't build it up. You can't eat
Where's all the Formula F1 action?
It is right here.
They can't get here.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
You can get this
All the
right.
roads are closed.
I almost said fuck that.
Yeah.
Can't get here, yeah.
Can't
You
get
only paid $20 to go to LA.
No matter where he finishes.
free on the outside, free on the inside, free on the outside, free on the inside, free on the outside. Yeah, okay, do what you gon' do to get the message. What you mean? Had to cut you off cause you was messy. Look, all my dogs got it off the strength, bench pressing. 10 plus, I can never quit, I'm invested. I can't fill you in with the crew cause you ain't real enough. Try to knock it down, but I can't let you ain't build it up. You can't eat the crock cause you was not out in the field with us. We got back in fellowship with God, how they gon' deal with us? Heard somebody talking from the benches. Yeah, they was like, no, don't shoot, I ain't listen. I feel like I'm Curry in the clutch, I ain't missing. I'm a trusting God without the luck, I ain't wishing. I say, yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot. Got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy. Fresh start time, fresh new mind. Free on the inside, free on the outside. 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 Free on the inside, free on the outside.
Hey everyone, get in here.
Ethan, what are you doing?
I'm going to talk about the queens because Miss Queen Lily is out sick today.
Out sick?
Is she okay? She's fine. She's fine. Sit your asses down.
What makes you qualified for this position? I don't think.
I'm qualified because I say I am. So this story begins with some old man limping.
Some old man?
Yes, he's just an old guy. Don't worry about him. He's going to fold soon. So the old man limps, and then we raise to $50 with 2 queens, and then another guy calls. Then the old man folds. Us 2 guys see the flop. It's a jack and 2 little cards. We check because, well, just because.
Are positions or suits involved in this story? Because so far it's not very good.
Oh, right. We are the little blind, and the other guy is the bigger one. Some cards are red, others are black. Stop interrupting. And then the other guy bets $70, and then we call.
Well, we check. because checking range out of position is...
Yeah, whatever. I said that we checked, didn't I? The turn is another 4, and we check again, because we are pussy and don't like money.
That's not accurate. We check turn because...
You're interrupting again. I don't like repeating myself. So anyway, the other guy checks too. Nia Long shows up on the river.
Nia Long, the actress.
What? Yes, she shows up. And then we bet $140. The other guy folds. End of story. Okay, I gotta go. I have more pressing matters to attend to.
Ethan, you come get me out of here this instant.
Free on the inside, free on the outside.
Immediately after that hand with queens, the cutoff posts to get back into the action. The under the gun 2-player limps, the posting cutoff checks his option, and I raise the stakes to $50 on the button with 6-8 of diamonds. The under the gun 2-player, who, by the way, doesn't like me at all, probably because I called her out for going south between table changes a few months back, calls my raise, and so does the cutoff. 3 players to the flop. Ace 7-5 rainbow with no diamonds. Both players check action back to me, and I continue for $60 with my open-ended straight draw. When action returns to she hates me, it gets bumped up. She raises to $180, leaving herself with about $500 behind. The cutoff folds. I'm not in love with this spot. Having 1 diamond on the flop would make it better, but I call the additional $120 anyway, primarily because if I can bink this straight, the future value of that newly acquired hate equity will be huge. The turn ace of diamonds isn't the hate-building card I wanted it to be, and when she gathers her chips and moves in for $500, I've already mentally moved on to the next hand. Not too long after missing my straight draw, I opened a $30 from early position with ace-jack offsuit. I get 2 callers. She hates me on the button, and a Bellagio rag in the big blind. Jack 10-6 rainbow. The big blind checks, and I keep betting, this time $40 with my newly found top pair top kicker. This bet sheds no one, both the button and the big blind call. The turn brings the 3 of diamonds, which should be a pretty big nothing. Action checks to me again, and I continue for $80. And again, this sheds no one, both the button and the big blind call. The 8 of spades appears on the river, and the big blind checks again. I fire, this time for $130. She hates me, has seen enough, and folds, but now the big blind check raises me to $400. So I ask you, is she bluffing? Is this how players bluff? Call flop, check call turn, and check raise river? Is that what they do? The answer, no. This raise from her is for value. For this knowledge, I have paid the iron price.
That bauble round your neck, did you pay the iron price for it or the gold? I asked a question. Did you pull it from the neck of a corpse you made, or did you buy it to match your fine clothes?
There are players that find river check raise bluffs. I mean, those players exist. But a Bellagio reg / pro finding one from the big blind versus an early position open who has bet all 3 streets is rare. I don't know what she has. 2 pair minimum. Maybe jack 8. Who knows? But from my position, I have much, much better hands in my range to fight back with than top pair. Fold.
So we took a small break from the game to come check out day 1 of the F1 being here in Vegas. It's actually happening right behind me. Day 1 of practice. You can't really see much, But your boy, that's me, I will be back here Saturday with Lily to watch the race. But back to the poker. The game I'm in is good, or at least it was good when I left 10 minutes. As you probably saw, I doubled up with aces, my second hand scene. Then I won a couple other pots, but you guys have seen all that. So we're gonna head back in now. When I left, there were some decent players joining the table. And if they are still there, that means I'm gonna have to change my strategy a little bit. I can't be dancing around in big pots with like middle pair like I can when not so educated players. Unfortunately, even if the game is good, I gotta get out of here sooner than later. With the F1 here, traffic is a mess, and I can't be here all night. I can't get locked in here.
Sure enough, after I returned from that mini F1 experience near the Bellagio front desk, the table had drastically changed. 2 pure fun rec players had been replaced by 2 serious professional players that I normally play 10-20 with, and the game went from an okay lineup to meh almost instantly. There was a hand, however, where I opened pocket deuces. Other than that, I literally didn't pick up anything playable over the next hour. I mean, I sometimes would have a hand that seemed playable, but due to my position or raises and re-raises in front of me, the hand would become negative EV pretty quickly. With the strip quickly moving into shut down the streets mode because of the F1, these games, nor the traffic, was going to get any better. It became time to just get out of there.
Catch me at the table when I'm grooving, when I'm having a great time.
You're having a great time now. Look, you
I'm
got
having a
bomb
great
pot
time,
going
but look
on.
at you. You're the lucky guy. You just win and leave.
Sleep.
And you're here, right?
I'm out of here.
All
I'm gonna go
night.
home. I'm gonna go to bed.
Life of poor people, life of rich people. Just going to bed right now.
I'll see you later. Well, the remaining part of that vlog after the mid-session update was pretty uneventful because I don't think I played a damn hand. But it's time to go. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get through this F1 traffic because I don't want to drive home for 3 hours. So, if you like the vlog, like the vlog. Oh, I forgot to tell you how I did. Let's just put that right in this area and say, hey, subscribe and comment, and I gotta get the hell out of here. I'll probably respond. I said that all out of order. Bye.